everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Katie, and today I'm going to be doing some of the books that I wanted to read this fall. So these aren't every book that I want to read this fall, but these are the books that I feel like are very fall atmospheric. And so I thought I would do a little video and share with you all. So this is separate from my monthly TBR game, which I will be doing before this video, I think, depending on how things work out. Yeah, I think the TBR video game is going to be up first. So go check that out if you'd like. I just haven't filmed that yet, so I'm trying to figure out my filming schedule. Okay, so I have a bunch of books that, well, not a bunch, but definitely enough to talk about. So let's start with Christian fiction that I want to get to this fall. So the first one is Shadows in the Mind's Eye by Jen Rae Trump, and this is her debut novel. It came out a few months ago, and finally my library got in a copy. I requested them to make a purchase of this book so I could read it, and it's been months since I put in that request, and usually they put it on hold for me. They didn't. I ended up finding it on the 7-day week shelf, and I'm like, wasn't I supposed to get a hold of this? But that's okay. Things happen, but yes, so this is a debut novel, and this is about Charlotte and her husband Sam, who served his country during the war, and he goes back and he has PTSD, and it's very, very bad. His anger issues are very strong. He attacks his brother. The neighbors are all kind of afraid for him, and I'm sure for her. But then he starts seeing people on the hills behind their house or in the mountain. And the only person that believes him is his wife. And so it says that it's got twists and turns. And I believe they kind of said it was Alfred Hitchcock feel to it. So I'm hoping I enjoy it. I've heard mixed reviews of this book, but hopefully it's good. I'm really excited to read that one. All right, and then the next book that I want to read, I don't have a copy of that one. That's the only Jamie Joe Wright book that I don't have, apparently. Okay, but I am going to be reading The Curse of Misty Wayfair by Jamie Joe Wright. This is on, I'm actually doing a reading challenge right now called 12 Books Recommended by 12 Friends in 12 Months Challenge. So this book was recommended to me by Chantel over Chantel Reads All. I will link her channel down below. I'm sure you probably have heard of her. But I'm going to be reading The Curse of Misty Wayfair by Jamie Joe Wright probably in September, maybe October. But I'm hoping to get to this one. I don't really want to know anything going into it, so I'm not going to share anything, but just know that their dual timeline, all of her books are very suspenseful, a little bit on the creepy side, but not too much, as it's Christian fiction, so it's not going to be scary or anything. So I'm really excited to get to that one. All right, and then the next books that I want to get to, which I don't know if I am, but I hope to, and that is the Boo series by Renee Guttridge, and I've heard good things about this. I can't remember who I heard it from first, but I will link her channel down below in the description box as well as put it on the screen. But this series is about a man who used to write horror books, and he ends up moving to a town where they really celebrate kind of everything horror and everything fall. But he becomes a Christian, and I believe he falls in love with someone in the town, but I'm kind of hoping that like the town kind of changes their feel and changes their point of view of Halloween and everything. So I'm really excited to get to that series. I think it'll be a good time. Also, the covers were kind of cute. So the next book that I want to get to is Formula of Deception by Carrie Stewart Parks. This book has been on my 22 books I want to read in 2022. I'm way behind in that list. So this is one of them. The cover is gorgeous. My two favorite colors, green and blue. Love it, love it. But this is a standalone book, and this is a Christian mystery suspense book. And this one says, after the murder of her twin sister, Murphy Anderson changed her name and appearance and moved to Kodiak, Alaska, to avoid the press and publicity. But when local authorities discover she's an artist and request her help in drawing a dying man's memories, she unintentionally ends up in the limelight again and back in the killer's crosshairs. It's really good. I've read one other Carrie Stewart Parks. I'll talk about it in my reading wrap-up. That could be before this video, too. But yes, so this is definitely on my TBR. And then the next book, okay, I think those are all my Christian fiction that I want to read. Yes. Classic that I want to read is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. Most of her books, I like to go in not knowing anything. I have seen a movie adaptation of this book a very long time ago, so I don't really remember the plot, and I'm keeping it that way because I like to know as little as possible going into her books. So I'm going to be reading that one. Okay, and then the last classic that I want to get to. Where are you? There it is. I should have all these handy. I don't. Okay, the next classic that I want to get to is The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. And I just love this edition. I waited probably years to get a copy that I really love, and I love this one. It's the, what edition is this? Paper Mill Press edition, and it's beautiful. I love this copy. But I'm going to be reading this along with Miriam Elizabeth Reads. I will link her channel down below as well. But we'll be buddy reading this next month in September, or this month when this video comes out. So we'll be reading this, and again, I don't want to know anything about this because I love the play, the musical. It's my favorite musical of all time. I got to see it when it came to Buffalo. Loved it. The stage setups were incredible. Costumes were amazing. The music, of course, I love the music. I basically taught myself to sing because of that soundtrack. And I love the movie with Gerard Butler as the Phantom. Just everything about the Phantom of the Opera I absolutely love. But I've heard this one is quite creepy, the original Phantom of the Opera. So I'm kind of interested to see how this goes, and I'll update you when I read it. All right, and then let's see. I am reading one that's not really a classic, but it is a revised? Not really revised, but it is a new book based off an old series. So this is Caroline, Little House Revisited. That's a word. Revisited by Sarah Miller. And this is all about Caroline Ingalls and her kind of journey to before she even met Charles. So we're going to see her life growing up with her family and how she met Charles Ingalls and everything. So I'm really interested to see how this book goes. It's on my, again, top 22 books to read in 2022 because I would really like to see, because I'm not a huge fan of Little House on the Prairie, but I'm really interested to see kind of her life before she met Charles. So really excited about that. All right, the next one. The rest are more modern day books. So first up, I want to read, where are you? I have a bunch of books by me. All right, so this one is called The Kaiju Preservation Society by John Scalzi, and I heard about this one from the Curly Reader, and Amanda really enjoyed this one, which kind of surprised me. I didn't really picture her as kind of like a, well, I know she likes Jurassic Park like I do, so this kind of has a feel about it similar to that. But I heard it is about kind of like there's a portal to a place where they have to stop these creatures from coming into our planet, but also trying to keep those animals safe in their own planet. So I hope it's good. I'm intrigued, and it's pretty short. It's less than 300 pages, so a nice short, hopefully fun read. So then the last two books that I'm going to be possibly reading, these are only if I have time for them because I've read them before, but I really want to reread them, which I hardly ever do. I hardly ever reread, but I want to. And that is Birdbox and Mallory by Josh Malerman. These are secular horror books, but light horror. So they're not extremely horror. Very minimal on language as well. There is trigger warnings, though, for suicide. So if you're uncomfortable with that, skip these books, especially in the first one, not so much in the second one. I don't think there's anything in the second one, really, from what I'm remembering. So I hope to reread both of these this fall, as I really enjoyed them. Very horror and creepy. So this is about Mallory and kind of her and the people who she is with. They kind of, all of a sudden, these strange creatures come to our planet, and basically no one's ever seen one. And if you do, you pretty much become mad and insane. and so you have to blindfold yourself in order to go outside the house. You have to cover up your windows and everything, and you basically are blinded for the unforeseeable future because you don't know how long these creatures are going to be there. But really, really good. I definitely really enjoyed the sequel, Mallory, because we kind of see some things resolved in this book. So really, really good. The Bird Box is actually a Netflix movie. I've seen the Netflix movie. I think I might like the book more, but I liked to have the movie. That way it kind of not necessarily explains things, but you get kind of a feel of what it's about. Alright, so those are all the books that I hope to get to in fall. No, not all the books, just the ones that were kind of fall feeling. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe down below. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video.